Right, hi, we're back. Yes, yeah, stream. Well, I mean that was literally the Wi-Fi going down. Even my Google device over here complained about lack of connection. So I've done a bit of a reset. We should be good, says he. I did spot it fairly quickly, mind you. So anyway, the audio, is the audio off? At the time you're listening to it, it probably is. But I don't approve of the word mong. Neither. Yes. But I sometimes humming. Sometimes, maybe. Oh, man. I'm digging another hole for myself to climb out of later. Ah, hey, hey. Right. So, I know. Let's not go there, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry if anybody was offended. I never intended it. Didn't give it any thought before it fell out of my mouth. As soon as I realised what I said, I took it back. I never intended any insults or hurt. Anyway, what was I saying? So yes, we've what was it, 6,000 trees, something like that at the moment, and we're just lining the trees along the areas. I feel they're probably, well, there would be trees along here, but we are a long way up from the water's edge. So I think, I mean, we could probably pop a few in here, but because it's quite elevated at those locations, I'm kind of happy for them to be more generic. What will be my foresty type trees, rather than the water's edge type trees. That's my thunk process. Yep, I said thunk and I meant thunk. Ta-da! BonBon's back online. Yes, so that was running up and down stairs. A, to get a bottle of water, and B, to restart the router or router, whichever you prefer. You know which ones I prefer. There is only one word that I would accept in that case, but I will translate it for those people that are stupid. By stupid I mean pronounce it a router. Oh, you so dumb. Oh man, I haven't been drinking, all right. I'm just relieved. I've got a long weekend in the UK at the moment. It's the final public holiday of the year before Christmas. So now I get, I was going to say I don't get any days off now until Christmas. That's not strictly true, because I have a cunning plan. A cunning plan, as Baldrick would say. And it's a good one, and I think you're going to appreciate it. I think you really are. Let me just check to make sure there's nothing I've missed. This is the ditch, so that's fine. This will have trees fedging up to the side, but not this side of the tree. Which leaves me now with the two. Hang on, not the two, because we've done this one. The one. Hang on, I would say we've done this one. I feel that we should maybe have a little bit of transitional, even if it is a bit rocky and cliffy along here. I have a. Hi Diego. Yes, this is take two. Lost the stream, back up again. But that was my Wi-Fi officially going kaput, which was not helpful. I don't like the edge here. I'm going to do a little bit of terraforming while I'm here. Just don't like the edge. I'm just going to use the softening tool. See if I. Oh, see if this. No, it's not working with the softening tool. Let's just bring it in. Let's bring it in, baby. Let's get rid of that little green underwater bump that we had there. Right, that's, I think, a bit better. How's this looking here? This is similar. Got a bit of a gouge going on here as well, but that can be used with the softening tool. Right, that'll do. Right, so leaves me with one river, and this is going to be, I basically think today's stream is literally going to be me going along this river, placing down these trees. I don't think I'm going to do much more because it's a long river. It's a winding river. There, apart from this little stretch in the middle, which is canyon on both sides, a very deep canyon at that matter. Yeah, 300 meters deep, very, very deep. But we'll have it's just basically it's all meandering river on both sides. It's going to take a while to get all the way down to. Well, then I'm probably going to bring it all the way down to here, the tree edging, and then we go into sort of industrial area, so it'll transition out at this point. And this little wetland area. I'm going to do this wetland area here first. This is my first port. It will be the most exciting thing I've ever seen in your life. What, the tree painting here? Absolutely. Had to miss the trees spawning yesterday. Now I can watch. You can, yes. It's murderously hot here, I've heard. 46 Celsius on Monday. Wow. Wow. You could boil an egg on the but fry an egg on the pavement at 46 centigrade. That is absolutely crazy. Right, so that's the tree detailing we're going to do. I did say I had a cunning plan. So I have one remaining non-Sunday day off between now and Christmas. I'm working Monday to Saturday every day up until Christmas Day now, excepting Monday because it's a public holiday in the UK. Unless, of course, let's keep our fingers crossed it doesn't happen, the King dies, in which case we'll have another public holiday because, you know, that's just the way things work in this country. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But I have taken the liberty of booking a week's holiday. When I say booking, I am going to close my business for a week around the 24th of October because there is something happening and I am going to focus for 1 week on that one something. You probably can work it out without my help. But yes, it's going to be learning a new skill and probably streaming 24/7 while I do it. So fun to be had, right? Fun to be had. That trick with the resources, does that also work with the terrain lines? Because I don't have toggle it. I'm going to try something. Hang on. Let me come out of this. Right. This could work. Please work. Oh, this is random, and mind you, I can't see where the river. Right, let's do the water's edge first. Let's do the water's edge first. Then I'll know where not to go in. And we can do some extensions along where the dry, the dry river or the dry wetland actually is. Hi, it's Grizzly Gamers here. You wonder what it could be. You have to go. Damn it, random. No, it was about to be the most exciting thing you'd ever seen. He clearly doesn't care. He clearly does not care for tree painting. I mean, this is a guy who covered an entire map with trees to make it look like, well, a tree and flowers and people walking and stuff. I mean, he clearly doesn't care at all about the art of map making. This is the guy that created a web page in a map. I mean, this guy's mad. The guy's a lunatic, an absolute lunatic, and we love him. Wow. So anyway, right, so I'm going to do these edgings like so around this lake. Not too worried again because we're going to be coming back further detailing. We're going to use some more foliage. This is just a first pass, right? This is just the first pass here. Right, so at that point we kind of start losing track of where the terrain has been edited. But if I go into here, we can see where the terrain has been edited. So what I can do is I can do something like this to make it feel a bit more believable. Like so, and maybe just a few on the end there. That's not bad. And then over here, something similar. And I think actually I will stop short of the bridge, and we use lower foliage down there. Right, it's come out. Oh, blimey, that's a great view, that one. Great info view. Oh, my goodness me. Excuse me. I don't want that on, thank you. Why am I going back to this? Excuse me. Finally we win. So that makes that area a little bit more interesting. Then we have the river. The river. Let's get some water. I think I'm going to dehydrate if I don't have some water. So much work to do here. My finger is going to get cramps. Also see a patch of river here with none. Let me just come and check and make sure that it's just not missed. I think it's just been missed. Right, well, let's correct that. As I clearly just stumped over an area. So yes, around the 24th of October, I will cease trading for the 1 week. I think I deserve a week. I haven't actually, other than say last year where there was the grieving period and I needed to focus on funerals and stuff and focus on my own personal health, really. Yeah, other than that, I've been basically 16 years of me. Oh, and the lockdowns. Okay, I'll give you that. We stopped trading for a little while during lockdown. So thank you very much, coronavirus. That was really good. I do like a little bit of extra time off. But yeah, I haven't actually in the last 16 years closed my business for recreation. I know this isn't going to be recreation. This is work. Cities Skylines II is work, right? But anybody else would say you're just playing games for a week, and they'd be right. They'd be absolutely right. So that's the plan. Why are you edging? Because tree painting. I don't want to have any trees entering the water. Plus, where the trees get placed along the edges here is inspired a little bit by the shapes of the terrain. So I tending not to. I have here because we're approaching the waterfall. But let me take you over to a bit of river we haven't done. So here we have some rugged terrain. The trees that I'm using, I'm imagining, while they're not willows, they do have a wide overhang. That's why I'm choosing them. So they overhang the river very nicely. You get that nice shady kind of effect. Maybe even some nice shadows going into the water. And so I'm basically spamming these along the river's edge, using the textures in the terrain, which the forest brush won't do. Now, I'm not saying I won't use the forest brush, but there are times for the forest brush and times not for the forest brush, in my personal opinion. A really good time for the forest brush is if you're doing quite a large bank of woodland. If I was, let's take this over to I don't know, here. Let's say I've finished doing the river. I haven't, but let's say I've finished doing the river, and I want to have a bank of trees here. then setting up the forest brush and just doing a bank of trees, that would work fine. That would work fine. But again, around the edges of the trees where you want fade, I want to make sure I get exactly the fade I'm looking for. So there'll be a lot of patience involved there. But running along trees along here, I don't want any accidental of that, which can happen. Thank you, Mr. Motorbike. I'm so proud of you, and so's everybody else. Everybody on stream sends their love. And then say we've got the rocky areas down here. If I was using a forest brush, I could end up with a tree like that, which regulars will know I don't buy into, unless there's a particular. I mean, that one is kind of growing out of a crack, but the trunk is way too wide to make that believable. So I mean, if it were arguments, ooh, here. Now, I might buy into that. In fact, I will leave that one there just to prove that I actually am not that anal about such things. But that is in a spot that is plausible, I think. Because it would require to get some roots down and stuff. So, yes, I know, trees supposedly grow out of rocks. But if you look at that rock, usually it's growing out of a crack in the rock, not actually out of solid bedrock. Anyway, that's so the answer to the so the answer to, I'm going to put a couple up here. I know they're a little away from the water, but yeah, the answer to why am I not using the forest brush is just to be absolutely certain I don't. So I'm going to have to go back, and I'm going to have to be deleting trees, so I might as well place them by hand. And then again, also following just sort of like little areas like here, I can just follow the lines, give it a more natural feel. The sort of things that you can do by hand without without these guidelines helping you. You can, but then so just using something like this just can be a little bit more natural than guessing what nature would look like. Like the first time you drew a river, how realistic was the river? Certainly my first river with an S bend in it. Go back to Merrickstowe, nowhere near this good, because it's what I thought an S bend should look like. And now, well, I've learned a bit better. And so, and even this took several attempts to get it right. It wasn't a first time success. Several sweeps for me to get to the point that I was actually happy with it. What's going on in the chat there? Only just updated the forestry brush. I love the new slope option. Literally makes my style map making hours quicker. Trees have trunks. They do have trunks. But they don't always wear them. The new slope option, the forestry brush, I've got to say I haven't really given that any not consideration, but haven't really looked at it yet. As I haven't actually done any proper tree work at any point recently. What does the slope option do, Snoosby? I mean, I will be finding out when I open up the forest brush. But what is it? I see a little bit of flooding there, but I get. Oh, actually, I'm going to have to do something about that. I see what the problem is. We can just bring that in. Yeah, I mean, I'll learn it later, but knowing it now would be quite helpful, quite useful. Also gives us something to do in the chat, make the chat useful. I mean, what would you need a slope option for? I don't understand. Because I mean, I could get the forest brush or any brush out and paint on the trees. Like, well, I mean, I can do it with the move it tool, obviously. Oh, hang on. Oh, will you please let go of this pixie poxy? Thank you. Oh, man. Right, and back to the copying. You can adjust the slope angle at which you will place a tree. What? Wow. Wow. Obviously not something I'm going to be able to use here, but I love that. Basically turns them into props, I guess, and or procedural objects sort of thing where you can twist and tweak them. I love that. But because I'm building this map here for 100% vanilla, if I start doing anything clever like that, it's gonna, I don't know, I might end up with some weird, I was nearly used the S word there, weird sugar. I nearly said the other S word. Anyway, could have some weird effects, I think. I'm just going to bring in a couple there. Right, how am I doing? Almost down to the canyon. Little patch there, little patch along here, a little patch running down the edge there, maybe a couple here. Right, that's this side of the river done. How long did that take? Oh man. Where are we? Your river. Diego. Your rivers are spot on. Even those broken sections are exactly how they behave in the Amazons, eroding their own track and cutting the self-made loops that the river makes. Indeed, yeah, I'd like to think I'm quite close with the rivers. Also, the width of the rivers. I did do that river tutorial, and I've lost my thing here. But yeah, the width of the rivers. If anything, I think the river here is too wide. But I think aesthetically it kind of works. It is a fantasy map, but for true realism, I think if I remember rightly, this is supposed to be about 1/6. The width here should be 1/6 of the diameter of the circle, if that makes sense. So this is kind of like where are we? There we go. It's about 1/3, maybe a quarter of the width, which is slightly too wide in real terms. This one down here, this one's probably more accurate. That's closer to the 1/6 across the way. That is supposed to get a bit wider on the loops, which is probably a slight fail here. Let's fix that. Sirens of the BonBonB players. That is a police car. Right, let me bring that out just a little bit. Just a little bit. And we will, in fact, I'm going to bring this in. Just a brush strength up a bit. Bring this in just a little bit. And then we'll soften that up just a little bit. That's a bit better. Right, so trees. Spawning a new lake in the process. Indeed. What we... is it not a bonbon? Was a bonbon? What a bonbon? The bonbon? I'm confused. Billabong. If you're talking about a billabong, a Snoozeby will tell you about billabongs. Billabong is basically an oxbow, but in Australia. That's about the one thing that I learnt from my research on oxbow lakes. It was like, no. I always wondered what a billabong was. I just assumed it was some sort of, I don't know, either a musical instrument or a cooking implement. But no, it's a lake. So, yeah, absolutely marvellous. I don't know why I didn't presume it was a lake. I think it was along the lines of I just visualised, you know, desertification of Australia, not actually somewhere with rivers. But yeah, Billabong, Oxbow, um, Banana Lake, whatever, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, they I have tried with these, like, again, everything here, because this is a fantasy map with these oxbows that I've got here. Again, with this, drew the river first, and now I saw this space here, and I go, well, maybe it followed this loop once, and then it took a more direct route. And we've got something similar down here, where I'm imagining here that the original route of the river exited out maybe down this way, and then when they came and developed the area, they dug canals in and redirected the water through this way. So yeah, it's all from imagination. Again, this way here, you can imagine this was the original river route down this way. Now we've got the salt farms down here, and you can just see the residual wetland areas which don't quite enter the 25 tiles, and that is literally, so that's to discourage anybody who plays 25 tiles from this was key for me. I've said this before, because you've got the 25 tiles and it is aimed at the 25 player, having this just like open land, if this was effectively clear build plane or even deserts going off that way, if that's what we had there, the city builder could get to here and then be disappointed that they can't extend the city further. But having the wetland here will be, even if they bought this tile, and even if they did do something big on this tile, they would be more focused towards the coast edge and then fading into the wetlands. So that's why we got that. And also here with the tree painting here, they got a transition between there and then what will be mostly cleared, apart from a few areas where I will put some trees down to, and just make it not look completely bland. So plans are afoot, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take for me to do all of this, especially as my next task, I'm going to do more map making tomorrow, so there will be streaming tomorrow. Monday we've got the dev diary in the evening, but from Monday I will be streaming my 81 player collaboration tile build, because I have one of those tiles. In fact, the start square tile, the C3 tile, to save anybody arguing over it, nobody did, but there was always a chance that someone would say, oh, can I have that one, the one that we started in? And in case more than one person started screaming for it, I thought, nope, I will use that one. I've no idea what's in it, honestly. It's one of those I just said, well, I'll whatever's in it, I'm going to work with, right? So that will be my task, probably up until Wednesday. I'll do a tile build, and then that then gives me Thursday, and well, basically up until the weekend to make a proper edited show showcasing the build itself and explaining to everybody how they can share their builds with me, and I will then start putting everything together, and that's when the whole map, the whole city, if you can call it a city, the whole build will come together. It'll be in just like little chunks as I start importing it all. But anyway, yeah, that's the plan. But yeah, so there won't be much in the way of map making next week, because it's going to be, I'm going to be in the game engine. Oh, I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared. Oh, I don't even know how to. Don't know how to start a new game. What do I do? What have we got here? Did you miss the river tutorial? I don't know. Did you? I can't remember. Is it not? It's not a BonBon stream if we don't have sirens. This is true. The old delta of the river in that case, you mean? Yeah, the old delta. Delta. One of those. Oh, you got an ad. I found a setting on YouTube for the ads, for the mid-roll ads, and I have turned it right the way down. There are 3 levels, and it was set on standard, which is, intermediate. There's another setting which is higher, which basically means I ring you for as much revenue as possible. And there's what they call the conservative setting, which is fewer ads, meaning that you see fewer, I make less revenue. Given I don't really make much revenue on streams anyway, I basically set that to the conservative level. So you should get fewer ads than you were getting 2 or 3 days ago on the live streams, given that they've started putting ads on the live streams, which was a surprise. But a happy one, because I could do a few extra pennies. Things are tough. Things are very, very tough. Oh man, hey ho. It'll be okay. Everything will be okay. I will win the lottery and I will ship you all over to the UK and we'll have a Cities Skylines garden party, right? Where we'll build cities out of Lego and sip Shangri-La, or I don't know what I don't drink. Sangria, isn't it? Shangri-La. Drink. I'll be drinking whiskey. You can drink sangria, and we'll have a good time. I would be very happy to do that, actually, if I won stupid amounts of money. Just get everybody, We'll even bring Random 5 over. Nobody really wants to meet Random 5, but we'll even bring them over. Put them up. Nice little motel about 700 miles from where we are. Then FaceTime them going, where are you? Random, where are you? Tea. There is tea. There is tea indeed. I don't really drink tea. I have tea for when visitors come round and say, oh, haven't you got any tea? And I go, yep. Little do they know it's stale, because I've had it for about 8 years. But I do have some tea. Nobody's complained. Mind you, nobody's come back. So it serves its purpose. Oh, man. No, I do prefer my coffee. About 2 cups of tea a year, and it's only if I'm in the mood. Got to really be in the mood for a... It's not, I mean, it's nice. Tea is nice. But coffee is nicer. I guess if I get invited to the palace and they serve tea, I will drink tea. And it'll probably be really nice, because it won't be the cheap tea or the stale tea that I'm used to. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not going to get invited to the palace. I just haven't done anything for the community. I mean, this community. But, the sort of things that the king is interested in. Which is, looking after the elderly and doing nice things for the children and raising money for the sick and all the usual sorts of things, and how big a hero you are when you're wearing a uniform and all of those things. And none of those things are me. And that's fine, I don't proclaim to be a hero. I had one moment to be a hero. I did it. I got my reward. I got my certificate from the sheriff. I'm like, great, lovely. I'm a hero. I've done my thing. and I've got PTSD ever since. But that's a different story. Oh man, but yeah, Heroes game is not for the likes of me. I won't be doing it again. I will, but only for survival. Only to make sure I don't die. Ah, what a day, eh? That was 10 years ago now. And it's still, just it goes round and round in a circle, revolves in my head. Right, so, but yeah, the old live streams from Gamescom. I mean, I could only find 4 or 5 of them when they were actually live, and so I skimmed through them. And there was one, I think it was Chiches. I'm sorry if I pronounced his name incorrectly there. He was speaking. I'm saying Spanish. It may have been Portuguese. I don't know their channel particularly. I've had their stuff recommended, but I don't really know their channel or them particularly. But I think theirs was the only really interesting stream. And then a couple of days ago, out of nowhere, it's saying, "Oh, look, Potato McWhiskey." Oh, well, hang on a blinking minute. I watch all of his stuff. Every blinking goddamn minute of it. He is a Civilization legend. Big time. Big time. He is Civilization... He is the Civilization equivalent of, say, Biffa. Right? He is massive when it comes to that. And I'm going, wow. We've got... And his stream was by far the best. In every respect. He's a pro. He's a true pro. So imagine if you got Biffa up on that crane. Right? You just know you would have got the best stream. Rather than people trying to figure things out. What does this button do? How do I make an interesting thing here? Let's make something like a meme thing. Biffa would have made it fun. Just from experience. And just even though Potato McWhiskey hadn't really played the game, you can see him figuring it out. He figured it out really, really quickly. And great creator. Love him. Really funny. Really, really funny. And I say, highly skilled at Civilization. Just so good. Love his stuff. Right. This is going to be heavily forested anyway down here. I don't mind there's going to be a few extra trees spent down here. This is just feels like it's going to be like the Lost Forest. You can use the Patreon money to buy as many tickets as possible. Yeah. I make some out of Patreon. I appreciate every penny. But it kind of makes up for what I don't make out of YouTube. Because YouTube's revenues are stinky, to say the least. It's not 50-50, but it's close to 50-50. So whatever your channel generates, YouTube, I think it's 55-45. I think you, the creator, gets 55% split of the revenue, and YouTube gets 45% split of the revenue. Now, I know they provide the platform, and I know they do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and I know they're the ones that like place the ads and whatever, but they get 45% for what they do. It seems incredibly generous that they should take that much. You look at the Patreon equivalent. I think Patreon is only 5% that they take. So this is why when I say if you want to support the channel, yeah, sure, become a YouTube member. I mean, again, I'm thankful for everything. I'm not going to say no to anything. But I'd rather you became a Patreon supporter because fiscally it's much, much better in my pocket. Let's say right now you've got the, what's the word I'm looking for? The super chat. So we have super chat in we've got the chat box on the right. If you were to give me £10 right now, don't. Well, you can, but don't. Right? If you want to give me £10 right now, become a Patreon member. We'll do it that way, right? But if you want to, got me thumbs up. I appreciate it. But if you give me £10, the £10 that you give me right now, I'll only get £5.50 of it. And you're basically giving £4.50 to Google, who own YouTube. So if you want to be generous, it's better to do it over on Patreon, where I will get, where are we, £4 out of £10, £9, £9.50, £9.50 out of the £10. So this is why I prefer Patreon for that. But again, I know that for some people they like just to keep things in one location. It's also quick and easy. If you want to click super chat, and just say £10, and it gets you highlighted here. There are bonuses. You get highlighted in the chat. You get an immediate shout out. Not that you're going to get a shout out anyway, because Diego, Grizzly, Random, Snoozeby, they're everybody on the page at the moment. And Darren at the top there. Yeah, you've all got a shout out anyway because you're contributing to the chat, and I read them, and eventually, if I haven't lost the stream to another crash. So yeah, yes, YouTube. How much? How much they keep? They keep a lot, and the algorithms don't help the smaller, i.e. me, or even smaller, i.e. this old gamer and others. It's not really helpful, and the pressure is to produce regular content that is just more and more popular. That's the algorithm really suits. That if you make, if you've got a video that normally makes 10 views and then your next video gets 100, you kind of want your next video to get 200, and you want after that to get 500, because the minute that you make a video that goes back to 10 views, YouTube will stop pushing you. It's a dog-eat-dog world on YouTube. It's really horrible, and in terms of everything you want to be clickbaity and retention, you've got to have people retained for as much of the video as possible. And if you're doing like a 2-hour stream, unless you're shooting things and doing exciting stuff, which I am not doing right now, I appreciate right now all I'm doing is placing trees one at a time, it's not really going to retain a lot of people for a large proportion of the stream. A lot of people come along and go, what's going on? Oh, he's putting trees down. It's far more interesting to watch somebody building roads, which is why watching somebody streaming building a city will probably be a lot more interesting. I've double clicked here. Look at my tree here. It's mottled. It's beautiful. It's the most beautiful tree in the world. Yeah, I'm going to fix it if I can. It's gone. Yeah. Back to this. I think we'll use this seam here. Just, again, just to help shape things. Again, we've got a nice interesting thing going on here. A nice interesting thing going on here. There we go. It's start looking a bit phallic, but I'll let it be. Nobody's going to notice. Nobody will notice. Where were we? Hang on a second. Chats. I was confused at first too, but building a city was fun. Oh, bless you. Yes. I've got water today. I've got chilled water. It's only tap water, but it's in a bottle and it's been in the fridge, so it's fresh-ish. with lots of lime scale. And healthier than sweet coffee. You're drinking coffee. Good for you, Grizzly. You should definitely have one for me. Have a double shot. And yes, Monopoly does lead to abuse. On the other side of it, though, we kind of like the Monopoly because it's we don't have to learn anything new. So YouTube, great, but sort of when you've got all these new social medias popping out, certainly there was a time with my business I wanted to promote it on social media. Somebody said you need to get on the Facebook, so I did. And then I complained that I just wasn't really getting any benefit from this. Oh, no. You don't want to be on Facebook. You want to be on Twitter. So I did. No. You want to be on Instagram. So I did. Then you want to be on YouTube. Well, I already was. And it hadn't already. The very first thing I did on this channel was related to my business. And it didn't work. So it's gone now, basically. Took it down. Got 40 views. 40 views. I spent hours making it, and it was actually a good video. I was really quite pleased with it. Well, it was good for my ability at the time. I think I could do better now, but it was still, it did the job. It did a very good job for what I wanted out of it. But yeah, 40 views. Nobody wanted to watch it, so therefore, yeah. No. You want to be on TikTok. No, you need to be on Threads. It's constant change. Give us something consistent. And if there is a little bit of monopoly abuse, we have to deal with it, right? We do have to deal with it. Now. Ooh, Billabong time. Bill and Ben. There we go. Bill and Ben. Okay, right, here's one. Bill and Ben, definitely British, okay? I'm not going to say anything else right now. I don't want anybody Googling it. Have you heard of Bill and Ben? And if you have heard of Bill and Ben, can you tell me what they were to prove it? No Googling. No Googling. It is old. It's not a recent thing. By any shape of the imagination. I mean, it was probably before me. I don't remember having Bill and Ben. So, yeah. But can you tell me? No sugar for you, right? Rumble? Did I miss something? Was it a motorbike that I hadn't heard? I've got a transit reversing in outside at the moment. TikTok is illegal. Really? They were plumbers. No. Keep guessing. I mean, you won't guess it, but keep guessing. This is going to be fun. It's going to be our fun game. I promise you I will give you the answer. I promise I will. And you'll look at me. Well, you won't look at me. You'll listen to me. And you'll go, you are kidding. How am I supposed to guess that? But yes, children's show from the, I'm guessing the 60s. It may have been the, before that, it might have been late 50s, maybe. Very much black and white TV, but iconic right up there with the clangers, which were little moon creatures that spoke like, ooh, ooh. Yeah, I wish I could say that was a bad impression, but it's actually probably better than most of my impressions, so we'll let it go, yeah? Were they plumbers? Right, no. Were they comedians? They were probably a bit funny because it was a children's show, but they weren't comedians as such, no. Were they worms? Now, random. Actually, now I'm not going to say you're not close, but you are much, much closer. Let's help you with the clues here, right? Where would you expect to find worms? Quickly and easily. Where would you, if I said, go get me some worms, where would you go? This'll help. This will help. I doubt if we're going to get there, but this will help. We're going to have some fun with this. Classic British children's television. Oh, do you know? Oh, Grizzly is getting closer. Right, okay. Right, so you oh, Darren. Darren. Yes, indeed. Somebody's Googling, aren't they? We just know it. Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men. Oh, dig a hole in the garden. This is it. This is why I said you were close-ish, but not close with worms. Because you were going down the right garden path there. Yeah. Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men. Fantastic. It was... They were string puppets. And... They just did... like, adventures in the garden, for want of a better phrase. If you can call them adventures. For the... again, very tame at the time. It was like... you know... Almost... post-Victorian attitude still with children. You know, you don't let children... Well, you don't expose children to anything really back then. You just read them the stories that grandmother would be happy with hearing you hear. You know, whereas kids want to hear the scary stories and the naughty stories. You know, and the man fell over and his trousers fell down. That's funny. No, if you told that to a Victorian grandparent, they would have had a heart attack. Bob Barker of The Price is Right. It passed away today. Well, I know The Price is Right. It's a show that did transmute across to the UK. But obviously, Bob Barker, I'm guessing, is the classic host of The Price is Right in America. I'm guessing. He's not known in the UK. It's not one of those names that has crossed. I mean, maybe he's known by some in the UK, but he's not one that. I mean, it's not a name where I can go, oh, I think I've heard of him. I've never heard of him at all. Make the world Victorian again. Oh, dang, yes. Yeah, we in the UK, it was probably relaunched by somebody else, but when it was originally launched in the UK, Price of Right, The Price is Right, was hosted by Leslie Crowther, who was just like a, I don't know, it was just a compere basically. I don't know what he was by profession. You know, whether he had been classed as a comedian or just an actor. I honestly don't know. Hang on. I actually want to know this one. Let's have a little. Leslie Crowther. Comedian. Officially a comedian, according to this. Died in 1996. So I don't think he's going to be coming back with it anytime soon. There we go. But officially a comedian, which is something I've learned today, thanks to Bob Barker. Rest in peace, Bob. And thanks for everything you've done to entertain the American public. But yes, I don't know Bob. Hang on, while I'm here, let's have a look at Bob Barker. Okay, meant to type Baker. Bob Barker, American television presenter. I recognise his white hair. I think I have seen like YouTube clips of him, and like usually probably the most memorable moments of, you know, those where people guess the exact price or whatever, or where bizarre things have happened. I probably have seen clips, but I couldn't have told you his name. If you showed me a picture of him and said, "What's this guy's name?" Wouldn't have even guessed it. I wouldn't even know where to start. Yeah, I wouldn't even. I mean, Bob. I mean, it's probably a guess at first name. I may have guessed his first name just by guessing. There we are. But yeah, rest in peace, Bob. Right. Oh, do you know what? I think this process, step one of the Operation Get Repetitive Strain Syndrome from placing trees singularly, is nearing completion. And boy, am I thankful for it. Next question is, what's next? Do you know what? I will follow this along here. Wow, somebody's got a speaker. Don't know what that was. But yeah, a car's just gone by with a little speakerphone. I heard of Drew. Oh, Drew Carey, come on. Yes, Drew Carey. Yes, long-time host of Whose Line Is It Everywhere? Anyway, that's where I know him from. Whether he's better known for anything else, I couldn't tell you. But Drew Carey, actually like Drew Carey. There are some American hosts I find not to my English taste, shall we say. There are a few where I just sort of like, I'd just rather not watch them. What's the guy? Hang on a second. His name is... This is annoying me, because I do know his name. He's a late night chat show host. Ginger hair. I don't like him. I've forgotten his name. And it's bugging me, because I do know his name. Benny Hill was awesome. Benny Hill was something different, right? Benny Hill. Ernie, the fastest milkman in the world. Yeah, Ernie. Big hit. Big chart hit. Music hit for Benny Hill. Classic. Very funny. Very seaside postcard. We have this. Probably, I doubt if you'll have this anywhere else in the world. But saucy seaside postcards. Come on, get my words out. Let me turn my mic down a bit. There we go. Saucy seaside postcards where pictures are of people in normally in Victorian swimming costumes. And then it's usually some woman with a big bosom or some guy with a big fat bottom or whatever, and there's usually some sort of tongue-in-cheek remark on the postcard, which is funny to the British humour. And Benny Hill was very much seaside postcard humour. All very tongue-in-cheek, all very, ooh, that's a little bit naughty. You can't say that. And then made the TV career out of it. Brilliant guy. Brilliant guy. Clive Anderson, Australian. Big over here. What was he? Oh, he had a talk show, but I'm trying to think. He had a show that he was a quiz show or something like that he was also a host of. I can't think what. But yeah, he had a chat show over here. Clive Anderson. Very much a straight man rather than a comedian. Knowledgeable. I mean, it's not that he wasn't funny. It's just that I don't think being a comedian was his profession. Nice guy. If I had to describe Clive Anderson, I would say nice guy. That's my whether or not he was. I never met him, but certainly how he came across on TV. This is where you're going to tell me he was like arrested for murdering 45 school children on the way to, I don't know, Disney World or whatever. I don't know. But He's probably dead now, I imagine. Clive Anderson. Wow. But yeah, Drew Carey. Yeah, Drew Carey. In the UK, we did have our version of The Price is Right. And I'm trying to think who it was who hosted it. That's bugging me. Oh, man. Not The Price is Right. Whose line is it anyway? Whose line is it anyway? Dang it. Yeah. Well, Clive Anderson do things like... What's it, Clive Anderson? It might well have been, actually. Oh, wow. Well, there you go, you see. But definitely remember him having a chat show. But Clive Anderson, yeah. Whose line is it anyway? Yeah. Because we had a different cast, obviously, than the American cast on the UK show. We did have, I've forgotten his name now. There was the big. Now this is going to be really, really insulting to somebody. This will be. I've forgotten his name. I can look it up really quickly. But there was a very large, I mean, around the waist, and he was either American or Canadian. I think he might have been Canadian. But this is going back some. He was in an episode of Doctor Who, and I can search him quite easily because I remember the episode's name. Hang on. Cast. Let's have a little look at the cast of that. Mike McShane. Mike McShane was the yeah. So hang on, let's find out where he was from. I want to know where he was from now because I definitely have insulted somebody. American, officially American, right? Clive Anderson's English. Clive James. Dang it! Yes. Oh, yeah, not at all embarrassing. Not at all embarrassing. Clive Anderson and Clive James. Yes, I didn't really mix them up. I was just testing to see if you were listening. Let's move on. Let's move on before I completely embarrass myself with my... I am so bad with names. I am so bad. We could do this bit. I think we missed a bit. I say we, I mean I. I am really, really bad. I retain names for a while. I'm good with numbers. Numbers I am very good with. But I can retain names for a short while of time. Let's say, like I say, we're having these conversations now. And so we got Dan's in the house. Hi, Dan. And we have this conversation, and and there's Arthur in the house as well. Hi. So yeah, we'll have this, and like I say, something like, okay, Diego, right? Been chatting with Diego on these live streams a fair amount. When the live streams come to an end of this, and I might not do a live stream for a while, and they might be 2 years down the line, and maybe we'll chat with Diego again. And I will have forgotten. I will remember these conversations, but I won't remember Diego. I might have a vague recollection of Diego, but my brain doesn't retain names very well at all. If your names are numbers, I'm pretty reasonable, and I have tried converting people's names to numbers, but honestly, it's way more hassle than it's worth. It really is. For the benefits, because basically I can just say to you, where do I know you from again? Oh yeah, that's it. And then we can just carry on. I don't need to spend time doing all the clever stuff. I think, looking at this bend here looks like it could use a little bit of love. But other than that, I'm going to turn it this way up. Other than this, I think we're close to step 1 of operation. Put some trees on the map will be complete. I think the next phase will involve the tree brush. I think. Right, let's come out of this and settle the camera for a moment. I'm going to get some water and check the chat while I'm sipping the water. Got the exact same problem. Can relate. Wonder if anyone if has to do something with creative people. Could be. It could be. Or it's just how much time and effort you can invest in. I know they say women are the more sociable of the genders, and so they tend to remember because things like, and again, it's inbred into them that they tend to be more sociable. So they do tend to remember names and just when someone tells you something, you meet them next time and they say, "How did that thing at the dentist go?" And you go, "How do you know about it? You told me. How do you remember that?" And they recall the social stuff better. I'm very much numbers orientated, so I tend to remember numbers better. Names of relatives, I don't. Yeah. Oh yeah. But fortunately, I've got a very small family, so that's been less of an issue. But even then, yeah. Or fellow managers at different stores. Oh, here's one. There's this woman on a Sunday when I walked down to the store, did my main grocery shop for the week. There's this woman I've been passing, and I was so sure she was my former flatmate. It turns out I used to work with her, and I think they've got the same name. And I think that's where I've been confused because they have the same first name. But yeah, it's putting two and two together and getting 79. It's just Right. There's some water in. Water in, water out. Now, how am I going to do this next stage is the thing. Because what the plan will be, and I'm not going to do this. This isn't the next stage, what I'm about to show you. This will be a latter stage. So we have down here, these are the three trees I plan on using for the water. The big one here, which we've just done because it's got a large overhang. This one next to it, which I know is not a riverside tree, but it has a large overhang, and it does work, I feel, quite well with this tree because they do look similar in terms of the darkness, in terms of the colour, and so when you put them all in together, I think they will work quite well nicely together for the. And then we've got the grasses, which work as reeds. The thing is, the next step, in theory, should be me grabbing this and going over the entire map again, like I have just done. If I do this now, it's going to I'm going to lose my sanity. And will be to do things like just a few, just around the edges, like that. I don't want to do that right now, at all. At all. And I'm thinking, actually, because that's more of a detailing mark, what I probably want to do now is with these trees. Now, this is the largest coverage tree that I've got, and it's the one I'm going to be using mostly for the forests. And I'm hoping that these are going to work really well, pushing up and into the these areas here, because this transitions quite nicely. So I'm thinking something along these lines, possibly with the tree brush. But the problem is with the tree brush is there are going to be little areas like here that I might only want 2 or 3 trees in, and then there will be swathes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run along these areas here, fleshing them out with a few of these. What are these? The oak? I don't remember what these are. Hang on, let's see what the... Are you loading? Are you loading? Are you loading? You are loading. It's the live oak. Right. So I want to come back out of that now, and we'll come back to this. So yeah, by doing this, this will flesh out the rivers a little bit, make them blend a little bit better. But it is going to be a... Excuse me. I would like some trees. Thank you very much. And it seems that the small trees are particularly small with the live oak. So, and they will load differently when they load in the finished map for every single different player. So I guess I've got to be a little bit creative here and make sure we actually do have enough trees around to make this work. So anyway, yeah, so that I think is going to be the next step, to move along the rivers and do that. I can't really use a tree brush for this because, again, it's still what I'm going to classify as detailing rather than tree brushing. What's that? Somebody there says I'm always forgetting people's names. Somebody does. Don't know who that is. I've forgotten. I've looked away now. I don't know. Yeah, I think actually yours is a name that I can remember better than others. Partly because it's very anglicised. Very, very anglicised. It's a, yeah, if that's not a British name, then I don't know what is. But my first long-term job after leaving college, I worked in a large superstore, grocery superstore. Over here, it was Safeway. I know you've got Safeways in the United States over there. I don't know if they are connected, but yeah, over here in the UK, they're now Waitrose, so upgraded to a more wealthier clientele, right? Anyway, I worked the shop floor, and there were a team of, I want to say 4 of us. We had Marco, who was the supervisor. Nice lad, very nice lad. And then there was me. And then we had Darren, who was Baker. And then we had a Simon, who was Harrison. So I can remember your name, or your name sticks, because I have got... I don't know why. I mean, I don't even know why I've remembered their names for so long. Especially Simon. I found, well, he was special. He was a blinking hard worker. Man, he was calling him special, making him. It's a bit of an insult. Out of the 4 of us, he did way more than anybody else. Yeah, basically, he was a manager's dream. He'd come in. What do you want me to do? And the manager would tell him, and he'd go and do it. And he'd do it well, and he'd do it efficiently, and he'd do it quick. It was just that he was socially awkward. There you go, that's the polite word. Socially awkward. And I think that my attitude towards him, although I don't think I was ever rude, probably looking back on myself now, I'm not proud of, because I was young at the time. I started there when I was 17, finished when I was 19. So, yeah. Different times. Wow. I was slim back then. I went to a again, very broadly call it a sports club. A couple of nights ago, Thursday night, where I'm officially chairman of that club. I haven't been for a little while. But they keep me as honorary chairman because I set up the club years and years and years ago, and went along there, and somebody took pictures, and because obviously chairman's turned up, let's share the pictures on social media. Chairman's here, and well, I don't recognise the old man in the picture. I really don't. That's not the person that I remember. That's not who I've seen pictures of. And well, I hate to say, that was me. Honestly, what happened? What happened to me? When did I get old? Oh, man. But anyway, yeah, I feel old. But seeing pictures of yourself looking like somebody of your age is like, what the heck happened? Anyways, it was a good night out. It was a very good night out. I had a good time. Met some new people. And they've travelled quite some way down as well. So it's really good. Right, this is coming together. Such is life. Yeah, you're right. Such is life. We are... I will take a look at the tree count in a minute, just to make sure. I know that I've got to be a little bit canny with the trees. I don't think I'm going to be going too much over budget with the tree lining. But we have got quite a density of trees going on here. Now, the thing is, right, you see this and you go, well, what about up here? This area here is something I can see myself using the tree brush. Because I'm moving away from the areas which feel very, like I say, detaily. Everything has to go in a very almost specific location along here. And then the tree brushing is when you can just basically go, actually, I'm happy for the computer to decide. Reasons I haven't taken any selfies in the last few years, though video kind of negates that. Yeah, there's no hiding, is there? There is no hiding. Oh dear. One of my early streams that I actually did, I had the webcam on. There was one of the comments, I mean, again, does it affect me? No. Has it stuck in my head? It did. Right. Because most people are, I mean, generally kind. Right. We're all generally sort of kind-ish people. So it's when you get the, I'm going to say, negative isn't the word I'm looking for. I don't like this. This feels like lines of trees here. I don't like this at all. Come back to that in a minute. Yeah, and I was okay. Yeah, let's say, was I hurt? Do I feel injured? No. Was the guy speaking the truth? Quite probably, absolutely, fairly, yes. But he said something in the chat along the lines of, oh my, you know, I really like this guy's channel, but I thought he'd look more professional looking. The guy looks like a hobo. I'm thinking, yeah, well, I know I haven't trimmed my beard today. Right, it was a fair comment. I did look a little bit, but hobo was like, what? Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, it was kind of like, well, people don't need to see my face. It takes up some of the screen as well, doesn't it? Yeah, if I'm showing my face, so you don't need to see that. You don't need to see that. So the webcam is there, but it's not plugged in. It's there if I need it. I think that's a bit better. I might take one of these. No, not with the bulldoze tool. I might take what with the move it tool. I might take one of these and do a couple in there to break those lines up. So this is the thing. This is where, if I was doing this with the tree brush, you wouldn't be able to, it would just be whatever it gives you, and if you don't like it, you can't really change it because you don't really notice it. Right, how is that? Was that all of that? Did I do both sides? I did both sides. So that valley up there has been done. I should really do down here as well. I'm definitely going to miss some bits. Definitely gonna miss some bits. Let's get some more of this water. Definitely less hobo looking than you. British parents, hence British name. Yep. Yeah, it is a very, very, very generically. I mean, I think the word is generic. The best word for your name is generic. Nothing wrong with it. It's spot on. It's a standard first name. It's a standard second name. It's like a John Smith or an Ian Watkins. You know, if you put a whole bunch of generic first names and generic surnames into a hat and pulled them out, nobody would question it. It's like not like where's your surname come from? I've not heard that one. You know. Harrison. Harrison, the son of Harry, probably. I'm guessing. That's the old derivations of surnames jobby, isn't it? Yeah. I'm guessing. Son of Harry. Hi, Sean. Sean LaRue. Ooh. Do you know Danny? Sorry, you've probably heard that a zillion times. I'll take that back. I take it back. The best maps are vanilla. They do not break. Absolutely, absolutely little bit agree with you there. Like a Dan Williams. Like a Dan Williams. Although that is a silly name. I think Dan is a great name, but it doesn't work with Williams. It's just stupid. Sorry, Dan. Williams are Dan. Where am I? I have no idea. I was doing some. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, Sean. Yes. The best maps of that. It's one of their selling points. It is definitely one of the selling points of a vanilla map. What am I? I'm taking the wrong tree. I've just done those trees. What I want is one of these trees. Can we at least choose the right tree? I'm gonna move that back in because I managed to move it without move it. Right. Yeah. Yeah. The advantage again, like I say, as you're correct. The advantage is they don't break. What? You just saw me choose the right tree. How? How? Look, I'm coming over here. I'm coming down to my palettes. This is why I have a palette. So that I can choose a tree. And I get the right tree. Without any chance of effing up, which is what I just did. Oh, no night, Snoopy. It was absolute pleasure having you here again, as always. Sleep well, and I may probably catch you tomorrow, I reckon. Because there will be a stream tomorrow. Probably more than one. Because somebody has a map to make. And next week is not map making season. Next week is tile. One tile challenge that will fit in with everybody else's one tile challenge season. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be fun. So that'll be next week. I don't think it'll take me a full week to do, but it'll take a full week out of the map making. And I did say I think I might have this finished by, well, in 2 to 3 weeks. This was about 1 week ago. So now I'll be saying it should be finished in about 1 to 2 weeks. It won't be finished in 1 week. I reckon it's going to still be a couple of weeks coming, this one. But we are definitely starting to feel a bit more, you know, the trees. The trees is kind of, it's the penultimate part of map making, right? Putting the trees down. Making this comes again. This is detailing. Once this is done, get the forest brush. I don't mind running the forest brush along here because it's kind of like, again, with the colouring. I use the colouring book analogy where Mum bought you a colouring book. It had the lines. It was all the lines were black, and when you went to colour it, you would just go over the lines because you just didn't have the mechanical coordination. So then Mum would colour just inside the lines for you, and then you could colour up to where, and you still went over the lines because you weren't trying so hard at that point, and then you're colouring in more quickly, and you still go over the lines. But anyway, by doing this, it gives me lines to work up to with the tree brush. And I think then with a soft tree brush around the outside, just to blend it all in, merge it all in, make it just feel more casual, more believable, rather than just these blobs of forests along the side of the river. That's the plan. The plan. I have a plan. So anyway, yeah, having joked briefly and taking it back immediately about Sean's surname there, there's another UK thing, I think, isn't it? Does anybody else know who Danny LaRue is or was? Again, absolute classic from would fit in. I'll tell you what, is kind of iconic by today. He must be a legend to certain communities, given what his act was. Long story short, okay, ready? Jump straight to it. He was the old, what we call proper 18 months. What is? He was a flower pot. Well, actually, and not that I would stand by this one, because we all evolve and we learn from our mistakes, and we realise that at points in our life we said things that were wrong or inappropriate, that were hurtful of others. And the whole gay is a teapot, he's a little teapot, because the gays would stand with the hand on the hip, and it was like, yeah, generic, we get it, it wasn't funny. And we've learnt he wasn't a footballer. He's as far from a footballer as you could possibly get. No, not a footballer. He was an old school stage performer, and he would come on the old variety shows, and he was a drag queen. And we're going back to, I'm thinking back to the 70s here, and he might have gone back even earlier. I was a child of the 70s, so doesn't really, anything before that doesn't really have anything in my brain, sadly. But yeah, he was a classic drag act of, certainly saw him a lot in the 80s, and he was definitely around in the 70s. And I imagine he would have been about in the 60s as well. But yeah, by today's standards would be very tame. But again, by today's standards, drag acts back then were, let's say it, were seen as, they were weird, they were camp, they were, yeah. But that was all there was at the time. And for the old LGBT XQY 123, I know I'm making the mockery of the name, but it's too complicated. I would say the Rainbow Generation. I'm happy with the Rainbow Generation. I think that sums it up nicely. For the Rainbow Generation, he would have been a true leader, and just putting your head out there. Yeah, at a time when there was a lot of hatred towards, it wasn't long after, not long ago, it was in the 60s that the law was changed for men to actually, for homosexuality to be legal, or the act of homosexuality, without going into any details. So it's a fairly recent thing in modern times that has been changed. It was weird. It was never illegal for women, but then I figured they didn't really, that the lawmakers never considered that women had any interest in that kind of thing. They were there to please the man, surely. What? Yes, that's how attitudes have changed in our lifetime. Absolutely amazing. Well done, everybody involved. It's way too complicated now, mind you, but that's a different story. That's for us to deal with. That's for old dudes like me to have to try and get our heads around. But it's a problem that I'm happy to try and deal with. There we go. But not a footballer. Definitely Danny LaRue. I just love to see him in full Danny LaRue get up, running down the wing. Oh, that would be an absolute hilarity. Oh, so good, so good. I think he's passed. I'm sure and it gets another one he must have passed. Famous in the 70s, and I don't think he was a young man then. Well, there we go. Yeah, drag act. But yeah, I don't think you were going to get drag act in the month of Sundays. Whoever got flower pot men, I'm sure cheated. Or knew already, right? You probably knew already, and that's fair enough. Right, these river deltas are starting to fill out nicely. There we go. So yeah, so definitely wasn't. Definitely worth googling, given he's a namesake. Because there are not that many LaRues about, are they? Are there? Blah. A few LaRue. But yeah, classic, absolute classic, legend. We lost one of the, or the other one of the hinge and brackets. There was another drag act. They played. There were two youngish men when they did it actually, but they played two old women who would stand at a piano and sing the old stage songs. I mean, proper old stage songs. They were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. I'll say they're both past now, sadly. As you get older and sort of like, do you remember this guy? Yeah, he's dead. Oh, man. Sad times. Bob Barker. Rest in peace, Bob. I think it's Bob Barker that started off this whole waffle. I'm so glad you're here, otherwise I'd be just talking to myself. Actually, I'll probably have the radio on. There's a bit of it's probably about finished now. Bit of soccer on the TV, or not on TV, on the radio tonight. Sure, it's on the TV somewhere, but I don't have it. Anyways, that's and my boys won today. Yay! First win of the season. So well done, Leeds United. About picking time. Long overdue, that one. I was getting a bit concerned. Oh man, 3 games, no wins, and we've gone down the division. Yeah, we're playing the easier teams, and we still can't win. But yeah, we're transitioning. We are absolutely transitioning. We're upside down. Is that a cricketer? Hang on a second, what's this? A cricketer that is drag appropriate. I'm confused. Or a cricketer that is drag appropriate. A cricketer. Kind of lost. You might have to explain that one. I'm sure something's not triggering in my brain there. The Greeks didn't care 3,000. The Greeks did not care 3,000 years ago. We have gone full circle. I mean, nudity. Again, that seems to be a Victorian issue. I mean, I can see certain arguments for it, but I think some of that is also how the Bible is being reinterpreted over the years as well. How nudity can be perceived as sexual, and you don't flaunt your sexual because that's for a man and a woman in wedded, and whatever's. So I can see how that would have evolved, but yeah, and of course I find it really weird that it's Americans that have a bigger problem with nudity, given how liberal America is, and it's sort of like any hint of like a blimey, a nip slip, shock horror. Did you see that? Yeah, it's whereas over here in the UK, like if a show isn't made with everything hanging out, it doesn't get watched. And yet we are those that launched the Victorian Revolution, you can't show this, you can't say that. Yeah, oh man, how things have evolved and how things are going to evolve. I mean, what's next? That's the next question. What's normalised? I mean, tattoos. In my lifetime, they've gone from people that, You know, hard men and let's use the D word, and I mean this in the most affectionate way. Hard men and dykes, i.e., lesbian women, right? But the male lesbian women, the masculine lesbian women, hard, you know, basically builders and motorcyclists and masculine lesbians were the ones that had tattoos. What, 20 years ago? 30 years ago? And now, everybody, absolutely everybody, apart from me, I haven't had one yet, but I think it might be just a matter of time. I just haven't gotten around to it, basically, for a whole heap of reasons. But yeah, so normalization of tattoos, normalization of sexuality and genders, normalization of basically everything. I mean, how long ago was it that disabled were second-class citizens? And I mean that almost literally, actually. Yeah, so what's next? What's the next? What do you guys think is next in the normalization? What's this? 3 horrible sirens: murder, sexual immorality, gossip, listed in one verse. Don't have one, won't get one. Don't have one, won't get... Oh, the tattoos. Yeah. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Everyone to their own. I always said I would only get a tattoo if I was 120% sure that I wasn't ever likely to change my mind on it. Right? Now, at this point in my life, I have an idea in mind for the tattoo. I'm not going to say I'm going to get the tattoo, because I still would need the artist to make the tattoo to the point that I am actually happy to have it actually inked onto my skin. At the moment, it's just a concept in my head. And while I am arty, and I will happily have a go at putting it together, I know I couldn't do it justice. Not to the point that I would want it inked on my skin. So I'd need to get somebody to do it for me. And I would need to find that person, and I would need to pay that person. And at this point in my life and in my existence, that is not a priority. Financially, paying somebody to do some art for some ink for my arm isn't a priority in my life. But I am mentally at that point. I think if, like I said, if I won the lottery, one of the first things I would probably do is I would look for the artist. Not to rush the tattoo on, but to see what they can come up with, because I have this concept in my head of what the tattoo could look like. So I'd probably get somebody to do the artwork for me, just so that I can look at it and think about it, just to have the option, because it's been something that I have carried with me all of my life, that I would only do it if. And the if is only pretty much fiscal right now. I've got other things I need to spend my money on, and other things I need to spend my time on, rather than sitting down and having 4 sittings or whatever. So yeah, I would get one, but it would only be the one, because again, there is only one tattoo that I'm particularly interested in having, and it's the one concept that is in my brain. So I would never end up looking like the 1950s sailor or the 1970s dyke that I roughly referred to earlier. And again, apologies to anybody who takes offence by that, but I'm meaning that in the most loving of sense, because I'm old school, and I think that one kind of describes that person better than anybody, better than any other word that I can come up with immediately. These are set a little way back from the river. Have we got a water flow issue? Is this an ongoing water flow issue? I do not know. Looks like the river has been... What have we got going on here? I see. I do see. I see that we can do something like that, I reckon. There's definitely some things at some point happened here, isn't there? I can roll with that, I think. I can roll with that. And Harry's here. Hiya, Harry. Hi, welcome to the group. We're listening to BonBon rant about things that BonBon has got absolutely no knowledge about whatsoever, and there's absolutely no right to rant about, but he's ranting about them anyway. All right. Just so you're all caught up, right? I've been ranting about tattoos and drag queens and offensive terms from the 1970s that actually work better than some of the clean terms that we have available to us these days. All right, you know everything now. And I'm currently painting trees one by one along the rivers. You know everything. Random's back. Random. That famous Italian drag queen. Sorry, Random. As best I know, Random isn't a drag queen. I don't know Random very well. They could be. They could also be a hitman for the mafia. So let's just remember that before I say anything else about Random. I think they're too far north to be part of the mafia, but maybe they are. Gonna be disappearing, Dan, at some point. Your parents are coming up to the coast to hang out, wine tasting, and maybe fishing. Well, white wine goes well with fish. There you go. That's helpful. Barely helpful, but there we go. Well, have a great weekend. You've never left. You were just painting trees. Ah, yes. Of course you're painting trees. We're using the forest brush. I haven't got to that stage yet. I will be. There will be forest brush work at some point, but only when I have forests to brush. At the moment, I'm tree detailing. Tree detailing the river's edges, which is frankly boring. It's as boring for me to do as it is for you to watch. And I'm going to do a tree count in a moment. Because this is ridiculous. This is truly ridiculous. Right. Just doesn't look like I've made any progress at all, but I really have. I really truly have. Trees. How many am I up to? 9,800. We started on 569, so I have clicked over 9,000 times to... There's over 9,000 trees lining the rivers that I have done so far. There we go. Just angle the camera that way. It's going to have some water. A little bit of water. Oh, man. You're a drag queen and in the mafia. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. It'll come to me when I don't need it. Yeah, I am slowly going crazy, but I think it's the only way I can do this task the way that I want it done. I do not trust. Oh, we've got a line here that hasn't been done. Yeah, I don't trust the forest brush to do what I need. Hang on, that's a little live oak tree. Yeah, I think the little live oak trees are a little bit too little. I need the big ones. I need to have some tree coverage. No point deleting them because it is just random for each load. We just need to make sure we've definitely got enough around. I wonder how many gallons or litres of water are on the map. I can actually tell you exactly Right, I don't even need a mod for that. The answer is, are you ready? Dum ba 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 bum. 0. This is a digital recreation. There's no water on the map. Ah, oh, wow. That was worth it, wasn't it? Yeah, 0. But very good question. We do have deep water out, and if it, I mean, probably could be worked out if you really wanted to bother. When the map is finished, here we go. Here, Dan, I've got something for you. When the map is uploaded to the workshop, right? If you can work it out, because it should be quite easy just to work out, look, from the depth, and yeah, you should be able to calculate it. There'll be a little bit of variation, obviously, with the water sport. Ooh. Ooh. Remember to breathe, BonBonB. I went dizzy all of a second. That was weird. Okay, I'm fine. I am fine. I'm good. Right, I'm back again. Wow. Really lightheaded then for a moment. I'm trying not to worry too much. It might be tied in with my high blood pressure. What we got here? If you scale the trees using Move It, they will stay the same when someone subs to the map. If I scale the trees using Move It, how do I scale the trees using Move It? This is something I do not know. Hang on. Let's get rid of this. Go away. Thank you. What do you mean scale the trees? I don't know. I don't see rotate randomly. That's your rotate. And that's your set. This is your follow the terrain. Snapping. I don't know. Yes, yeah. We would like to know, Harry. And if you select a tree with Move It and press comma or really? About to do it. Right, we're going to take this. I'm going to drag. Actually, I'll just copy it. Bring the tree over here. Right, we have a tree here. I've selected it. Oh, no way. No way. Oh, man. That's absolutely magical. Now, when you scale them with Move It, if I load up the map in vanilla with no Move It, will this still apply? In the same way, if you've got intersection marking tool markings on the map, and then you load the map up without intersection marking tools, the intersection marking tools disappear. If I don't have Move It, will these trees remain? Hang on. How many sizes have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Oh my God, don't tell me this goes on forever. Wait a second. Hang on. Just a minute. Right, I've hit a limit. I have hit a limit. Why can I not select it? Let me just select it. Come on. I seem to be having some problems selecting this. Select. Right, so copying that gives me a... Oh my God! my God. Random. We have something. All those hours you spent painting the daffodils. You, or poppies, sorry, not daffodils, was it? All those, you could have saved yourself hours. This is absolutely effing insane. Right. We do indeed. The question... I did not know this, Harry. So, hang on. Also works with props. Do we have a definitive answer on if you load the map without move it? Because this is something we need to know. And I am going to find out. I'm going to do it now, actually. If whatever you tell me, I want to know. You would say a few 100,000 trees. Absolutely. Right, I am saving the map. Save at number 29. Save. I'm going to shut the game down. I'm going to relaunch without move it. We're going to have some fun. Okay? Oh, well, we're not going to have some fun, but we're going to learn something. That's what we're going to do. Right. So it's going to say, look, here we go. It says like stream has ended. We haven't. I'm going to keep talking because I need people to know that the stream hasn't ended, but it's the only option I have to show you at the moment. So I'm going to keep talking so people know that we haven't. I'm quitting to desktop and launching the game again in a few moments after I can't believe I'm even doing this. I cannot believe I am even doing this. Move it. Move it. And come on. Right. I've got to log in. How am I not logged in? Thanks for that. Right, okay. I have unsubbed from Move It. I no longer have Move It. I am now relaunching the game. And we're going to see. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be very, very interesting indeed. Relaunching the game. Dum, dum, dum. I see a video coming. If this works, I see a video coming. Oh, man. Legend. Absolutely legend for this one. I am still loading up. You need an... the thing is, I have one. I have one. But I don't think I have access to it on this setup. This setup was thrown together really quickly. And the one that I would ideally want to show you is on a completely different... Yeah. Just... I didn't figure I'd need one. I thought I'd, yeah, maybe I should. I say I do have one though. That's the thing. Right, editors, yes. Map editor, yes. Load number 29. Got it. Loaded. Right, we are now loading. Which as soon as I know that I can share that one, I will. Which should be about now. There we go. I am using OBS, well, Streamlabs OBS. I am having, I've got it. What's the word I'm looking for? Different. It's not the source. It's the one above sources, but I haven't got that set up. For yeah, it's just I don't have a source for that card set up for this particular load. For this particular desktop, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I'm not sure it does, but yes, it's it wouldn't be difficult for me to sort out because I have the card. I made the card special for exactly this kind of moment, and the first time I need it, I don't have it. It's just like really frustrating. But there's a whole bunch of things that aren't working at the moment. Basically, I need to reset the whole thing like I should with the press of this button. Turn my sound up so I can hear. No, I'm not hearing anything. That was the button to start dispersion relation, which is the classic WhatsApp music. You know the one. That doesn't work. Yeah, other buttons on here do work. I need to reset my my keypad and reload everything back in. But because I don't, yeah, I mean, I've got 9 viewers. Woohoo! You know, it's great. I'm enjoying it, but I've got 9 viewers. Is it really worth taking half an hour to an hour to set everything back up when I can just get in and do some map editing? Generally, it doesn't matter, does it? Generally. So anyway, right, we are approaching the point where it's going to tell me that I've got 2 broken trees. I don't know why the trees are broken, but they're there, but I just ignore the warning message, and I'll probably get a couple of pop-ups telling me that if you're using intersection marking tool, these are the new things that you need to know, and I immediately just close them down without reading them, because I don't use the intersection marking tool, but it's there and it exists, and that sort of thing. Oh man, this is going to be interesting. So I don't have Move It to verify, to confirm if you've just turned up and you wonder what's going on. Darren, was it Darren? Hang on, I want to make sure I'm giving the. It was Harry Plays. Harry Plays. Let me write this down. Harry. Oh, find the flat surface. There we go. Harry Plays. Move it. Resize. Yeah, this was new. So. If these trees are still large, then this means that this setting sticks without Move It. Of course, it does mean I'm going to have to shut the game back down again to be able to continue doing the work on the map. But this is a curiosity reload, and we need the answer. We need the answer. But I think I can see a video coming very, very quickly on this one. No, I didn't know about it. Sources, click plus. Hang on a second, what we got there? And you can instant add anything. Hang on, let me open up OBS. Sources, click plus, and you can instant add anything. Right, well, first of all, let's do the thing that we've done the reload for. Oh my God, would you look at this? Would you look at the... Random. It's time to piss your pants, mate. I don't have Move It. I do not have Move It. Oh my freaking God. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Do we just settle the camera down and just appreciate this moment from Harry Plays? I am astounded. You couldn't get it to work. Oh, okay, right. Oh, I can't do it now because I haven't got Move It operating. But yeah, so yeah, select one item with a tree or a prop with Move It, and then use the full stop, period button, or the comma, and that makes larger and smaller. I do owe you a beer for that one. That's a beauty. That is an absolutely beauty. I suppose it's the same. God, do you know what? That needs to be tested as well. That absolutely needs to be tested as well. You're absolutely right. We're going to do it. We are absolutely going to do this. Right, so save map, publishing new game panel, still final 129. Everything else is good. I'm going to copy that name up there so we can find it nice and easy. We'll do a save. We will overwrite. It should be Cuboid. Well, he did do the amount. All credit goes to Cuboid, but credit goes to you for raising it, because I did not just me. I mean, Random doesn't know it either, and Random is definitely more on the board than I am. with everything basically. Absolutely everything. I'm just here pointing and speaking and stuff, and it's you guys that come with the big news. I'm absolutely shocked. Oh, Dan, you're out. Oh, poor Dan. No, this is new. This is true, but me and BonBon apparently didn't have the ability to read. Well, yes, but the thing is with Move It is it's had so many updates and so many bits added to it, and hotkeys and it's the same with like intersection marking tool or procedural objects mod. It just keeps evolving and evolving and evolving. And if you're using it constantly, then you are going to keep reading. And it's like, I don't have Netflix now, right? If I had Netflix, I would know what's coming up on Netflix. But I will get Netflix when I know that the Umbrella Academy new season is out. I will switch back to, because I'm currently on Disney Plus. But I can't really justify having two of these subscriptions going, so I'll switch between the two. But I don't know what else is on Netflix, because I'm not, while I can get it and I can easily Google it, I don't have any interest in it. And because I'm not actively using Move It generally for WhatsApp, etc., I should be shutting the game down at this point. We're going to do the same thing again. Let me just do the end screen. Bam, it's gone. I'm going to keep going. We haven't gone. We are still live. Don't worry, everybody. We are going to desktop and we're going to launch the game again. But this time we're going to be launching it for a map build. Where are we? Load. Not map. City. Start a new game in the game panel. This is what we're going to do this time. And I did see something. Somebody gave tips on how to add an item. I'd have to find it. I have got it. I'd have to find it. But yes, back in the moment thing. I might try and do that in a second while this thing is loading. And if I can find it, I will add it. Right. Paradox logo. Paradox logo. Paradox logo. Paradox logo. More Paradox logo. Even more Paradox logo. I love this Paradox logo. I think I could close my eyes and draw it in my sleep. New game. New game. From the map. The final one, 29. Got it. And click start. There's nothing more for me to do there, is there? Nope. Right. Okay. I can now share that with you. Over there. I can move my screen over here. So I can see the chat over there. Yeah, I'd have to find it. But what I need to do is I just need to. My sources are a mess. It's just got more and more cluttered, and more messy. I mean, I can't tell you how many sources I've got on here. I've got a source for the merch pop-ups. I've got 4 like buttons, but I've got no way of making them operate because the my Stream Deck isn't calibrated. It was, but I think there was an update and basically everything got thrown out. Like I say, dispersion relation just disappeared. It is set up correctly. I have checked. I just don't know why it's not. So yeah, I don't know. Probably a full reboot or something. I don't know. I don't have any other subscription than cable. If I want to see a movie or a TV show or a series, I sail the high seas, the Gulf of the Buccaneer. When you load the game and click the screen and the CEO logo appears, it skips a sequence. But if I click when there is a Paradox logo, it crashes. I try not to, basically. I think I've had something like that in the past. So I absolutely... Shh! Don't tell anybody about 64 gigs of RAM. I've got 64 gigs of RAM because my Patreon BonBon buddies are amazing. Right? Absolutely amazing. The first... I honestly don't know how many years it was of running the channel. I didn't touch any of the money that was deposited via Patreon. I just let it stack up. Oh, well, I'd have 128 gigs, but this system won't take 128. I'm on my maximum. This system is maxed out at 64. But well done, Harry. You have 8. Random has 8. I can smell the processor burning right now. But yeah, yeah, I had 16. I'm leaning on it now. It's still sat there in the corner. My old i7, and it was doing okay. It was doing fine, but when I was once my BonBonB donations had stacked up over a few years to a point that I could basically afford a decent gaming system, I basically took all of the money and I spent it all on the system that I use now, and it's obviously much better for the game, but also in terms of rendering. Honestly, the rendering time on the old i7 it could take an hour to render a Watt map, whereas with the Ryzen 5, which is what I've got here, it's a Ryzen 9 even, sorry, I've got here, it's 15-20 minutes, just so much different. Anyway, all the stuff that I should read, but I don't. There. And that. And there we go. There's the answer to the question is right there in front of us. Even in the game engine. Even in the pigging game engine. Harry plays. Wow. Just wow. Right, okay. We're not going to stay on this very long. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this straight away, because I need to reload it in the map editor. We've done this, we've seen it, we know it works. I also need to resubscribe to move it before we do that. Otherwise, this would be... I've done this before, you know. I've absolutely done this before. Close down for, which was to subscribe to an item I forgot to do. Very frustrating when that happens, but then that's brains for you, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to try clicking on the Colossal Order logo. Hang on, see if I can crash it for you. All right, let's see. I'll let you know, random. Here we go. White screen. White screen. White screen. Spinning blue disc of death. And I clicked on the Colossal Order. And now I have the spinning chirper of death. Oh. Hang on. Something's going on underneath. It's updating. Maybe I didn't move it long enough to install. Ah. Oh no. I don't know what happened there. Maybe the mods were updating. But I think I managed to skip the Paradox logo. I didn't see it. Something weird. But anyway, right, let's move that back up there. Let's go into Content Manager, make sure that Move It is actually enabled. It should be. It is. Wow, hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. You trying to tell me I don't have Move It? Apparently I don't have Move It. Right, I reckon. Yes, we'll exit. I reckon I didn't give the game long enough to install Move It. I thought I did. Manage downloads. Content unavailable. Well, that's useful. Why? Why is the content unavailable? I've unsubscribed from Move It and now it won't let... Oh, it's this freaking thing. Oh, this... We might be about to lose the stream. Hang on. Starting download. No. Content servers only. Right, I know what the problem here is. And we might be about to lose the stream. Let me come back to this so I can see. If you click on it, goes to the menu and skips Paradox. All right, excellent. Right, so basically what's happened is and I've had this before with Steam, that it says content unavailable, but I need to switch Wi-Fi. I've got 2 channels on my Wi-Fi. If I switch my Wi-Fi over now, I will be able to subscribe to Move It. If I do this though, we might lose the stream. So if everything goes quiet and everything goes black, what I'll do is I'll take a break. In fact, we probably should do this anyway. I'm going to do this anyway. We're going to take a break. I haven't had any dinner, so we're going to take a break. I need to switch the channels on my Wi-Fi over as well. So I'll do that. Then I'll resubscribe to Move It. Then we'll launch back up the map editor, and I'm going to continue tree painting in probably a couple of hours, because I haven't edited the chart show for tomorrow. So I'm going to take 2 hours. I'll be back at about 10:30 p.m. UK, which is what, 11:30 p.m. Central European. Right, 10:30, 5:30 Central America. I don't know. Anyway, work it out. 2 hours, right? My dear, that's why you use wired internet. Do you know what? I blinking well would, Harry. I absolutely blinking well would, but I'm too far from the where the wires come in for it to work sensibly without a 400-mile cable, which is basically it's not easy for me to get wires to my PC here. If I move my PC downstairs, I could do that, but then I would be uncomfortable. So I'd rather be comfortable and on Wi-Fi. So, but you're absolutely right. Wired would be much better, but it's just not something that's possible for me right now. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to take a couple of hours. I'm going to have myself some dinner. I'm going to edit the chart show for tomorrow, because that has not been done. I've got all the footage and all the bits. I just need to edit and voice it and then upload it. So yeah, give me 2 hours. I'm going to be back, and I'm going to be placing more trees along more rivers. It's been great, but thanks everybody. If you haven't hit the like button already, now is a very good time to do so. I know I haven't said that at all, but why not? Anyway, thanks everybody. I'll catch you all again very